I appreciate you joining me once again. Hope you're having a good day. We are going to be thinking about Rahab today. We're coming on into Joshua. We're going to think about Rahab hiding the spies. Today's hymn is the hymn, Take My Life, O Father, Mold It.
Take my life, O Father, mold it in obedience to thy will, and as ripening years unfold it, help me keep it childlike still.
Let's go ahead and look at the next verses as well. Father, keep it pure and holy, strong and brave, yet free from strife, turning from the paths unholy of a vain or sinful life. And remember, we're speaking about Rahab. Ever let thy might surround it, girding well the inner mind, till the cords of love have bound it, Father, holy unto thine. Take my life, O Father, mold it. Joshua 2, verse 1. Now Joshua the son of Nun sent out 2 men from Acacia Grove to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, especially Jericho. So they went and came to the house of a harlot named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, men have come here tonight from the children of Israel to search out the country. So the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you, who have entered your house, for they have come to search out all the country. Then the woman took the 2 men and hid them. So she said, Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. And it happened, as the gate was being shut, when it was dark, that the men went out. Where the men went, I do not know. Pursue them quickly, for you may overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them with the stalks of flax, if I could talk, which she had laid in order on the roof. She comes up to him on the roof and she says, I know that the Lord has given you the land, that the terror of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land are faint-hearted because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the 2 kings of the Amorites, who were on the other side of the Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed. And as soon as we heard these things, our hearts melted, neither did there remain any more courage in anyone because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and on earth beneath. Now therefore I beg you, swear to me by the Lord, since I have shown you kindness, that you also will show kindness to my father's house, and give me a true token, and spare my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, and all they have, and deliver our lives from death. So the men answered her, Our lives for yours, if none of you tell this business of ours. And it shall be, when the Lord has given us the land, that we will deal kindly and true with you. And we know what's going to happen. We know what's coming. Jericho, the walls will fall down. We remember where Rahab, the account speaks about her house being on the wall. That's as she lets them down. It says her house was on the wall. Maybe that that the wall was the backside of her house, in all likelihood. So the wall of the city was possibly a wall of her dwelling, and when that wall came down, she just walked out. Or that talks about them getting her, but easy access, so to speak. But let's think about our hymn along with the passage now. Take my life, O Father, mold it. What could Rahab have said? And what could we all say? We'd say, well, but I'm a sinner. And that was certainly the case with Rahab. She was a harlot. But what would the Lord do with her? What could the Lord do with her? What will the Lord do with her? She's going to dwell in Israel. And we know whose lineage she's going to find herself in. She's going to dwell with the Lord's people. And you just think about, they had been in fear. They had seen Israel coming. Kind of hard to miss that many 100,000 people. Kind of hard to miss, when your town's not that far from the Jordan River, and all of a sudden the waters are cut off, and there they are camping out, keeping Passover, circumcision, all those things happening in the shadow of Jericho. Kind of hard to miss it. So they were terrified. And here Rahab is. She's a sinner. But here she has an opportunity. And the men come. And she can turn them in if she wants to. But she doesn't. She hides them. Take my life, O Father, mold it. She's heard what the Lord has done. And we should not let the fact that we are sinners keep us from coming when the Lord calls. We should not let it keep us from saying, take my life, O Father, mold it. The Lord did not come to call the righteous, he came to call sinners to repentance. And so we turn to the Lord. But also, Rahab could have said, well, but I'm an outsider. She was an outsider. She's a Gentile. Here she is in a pagan city. And that's who she is. She's an outsider. Outsiders can become insiders, though. And again, she's going to dwell in Israel. To that point, look over in Joshua, come over to chapter 6. We're in chapter 6 after Jericho happens. Chapter 6, down around verse 23. It says, the young men who had been spies went in and brought out Rahab, her father, her mother, her brothers, all she had, and brought out all her relatives and left them outside the camp of Israel, but they burned the city and all those things. Verse 25, Joshua spared Rahab the harlot, and of course all that was with her. So she dwells in Israel to this day. I want you to see in verse 23, they left them outside of the camp initially. And so commentators and others who speak about this, they make the point, and it's a good point. What they are going to have to do is they are going to have to become proselytes. They are going to have to renounce their paganism, and the males are going to have to be circumcised, such things as that. And it sure does look like they do it because Joshua spares Rahab, and she dwells in Israel. And again, we know whose lineage she's going to be in. Going to be in the Lord's lineage. She could have said, I'm a sinner. She could have said, I'm an outsider. And she could have said, I'm afraid. She was afraid. She says, we're all of us are just terrified. Come back to our passage again. Back in chapter 2, when she hides the spies, says, I know, you might notice that, personal. I know the Lord has given you the land. The terror of you has fallen on us. And all the inhabitants of the land, including her, are faint-hearted because of you. For they've heard. They've heard. She could have said, I'm afraid. But she was afraid. Didn't keep her from taking courage, hiding the spies, though. That's what she did. And so, as she's doing all these things, she tells the men, I've been kind to you. Will you be kind to me? And so we come to the Lord and we say, take my life, O Father, mold. And we change. Yes, we were sinners. Yes, we were outsiders. Yes, we were afraid. But the Lord has delivered us from the fear of bondage. The Lord takes sinners who are cleansed. The Lord takes outsiders, and now you're citizens of the kingdom. So we think about Rahab. We think about our hymn, Take My Life, O Father, Mold It. We think about the Lord's power, the potter over the clay. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.